So Sean Evans and Jim Hoopanen will bring us to the green flag here in the first of 3 qualifying heats for our 360 Sprint Car Division, brought to you by Cool Kids Ice and Water and Core Pack Merchandising.
Jim Hoopanen looked more comfortable in practice this week than he did all race night last week. Did you notice that?
Yeah, you could tell he was trying to get adjusted. He had some seat time Saturday night down at Merrittville Speedway for the Southern Ontario Sprints event down there. So he should really be locked and loaded, ready to go here in that number 0 for Glenn Styres Racing. Sean Evans, oh baby, what a save by Sean Evans. He still doesn't have it under control.
Wow, that's some bite right there. If we got that on camera, that is going to make highlight reels for years to come. Holy moly.
Shane Ross leads lap number 2 over Jim Hoopanen and settled down in the 3rd spot. Sean Evans.
Steve Glover up the racetrack off of turn number 2. John Burbridge had a run, but Dylan Westbrook had a better run, drives it to the inside. Wow, that was a slide job by Westbrook over Steve Glover.
All sorts of bite for the 47X as well. You see the left front hopping up on that machine for D-Dubs. Out in front, Shane Ross leading the way over Jim Hoopanen. Right behind them in the 3rd spot, Sean Evans, who's caught his breath, settled back down. Jamie Turner having a really good run. He's worked all the way up to 4th after starting in 9th.
That's definitely a good run. Look at this battle down in 1 and 2. Shane Ross on the inside. Jim Hoopanen powering down the back straightaway. He'll sweep to the outside in the 0. Can he get him back?
Yeah, the Red Rocket will get by with 2 laps left to go, but here comes Shane Ross digging back down to the inside line. Back into corner 3 they go, side by side for the lead.
What a battle in this qualifying heat for the 360 Sprints. They head under the white flag. One more lap. Who's it gonna be?
Here comes Jim Hoopanen, 2-time champion of this division, scoots to the outside of Shane Ross. Ross, though, digging on the inside line. Off of corner 4, Hoopanen squeezes it to the wall. No room for him, and Ross will take the win over Hoopanen.
Ross left almost enough room, but the way that car was pitched, Hoopanen wisely chose to roll out of the throttle there. If that was a feature race, I think we would have seen a little bit different reaction from Jim Hoopanen. But
can we go back and just watch that entire heat race?
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Wow. Here comes the replay for Sean Evans off of corner 1. I mean, he was ready to launch to the moon at one point there.
Goodness gracious, 3 times. Show that again. If you can show that one more time, I want to see it again.
Again, if you have your smartphones, you can watch on our Facebook. Turner going from 7th from Carlisle in the Nitro 54 variety MMBO direct marketing. Car number 9 is Steve Lyons, and going from the 8th and final position from Caister Center in the body line. Total Coatings, number 46, that'll be Kevin Pauls.
Remind me to tell you of how a wheelie cost Dylan Westbrook $5,000.
It's a wheelie good story. Boy, that was corny. Green flag coming out on this field, the 2nd qualifying heat for a 360 Sprint Cars, as Derek Jonathan tries to hold off Mac Demand, but the highlight man shoots by into 3.
How happy is Mac Demand going to be with his foot to the floor, not having to worry about where the car is going to bounce to? Derek Jonathan, though, giving a good run on the inside in that 81 machine. Great battle in the opening laps.
Derek Jonathan hanging with Mac Demand. Now Demand will break free off of corner number 4 and lead lap number 2 as they go down into corners 1 and 2. Really good run for Derek Jonathan, working that inside line.
Absolutely carrying a ton of speed. As I say that, he lost a little bit there in 3 and 4, but Derek Jonathan showed up to race here tonight.
Caution flag out on the speedway as Kyle McKenzie waves the yellow flag. And I believe there is debris right up in the middle of corner 1. Safety crew getting up there. A side panel off of Steve Lyons' nose wing.
I thought we had this conversation last week. We were going to do away with the term debris or stuff. It's a stuff yellow.
Nose wing problems for Mitch Brown as well. In the 10, we can see his nose wing laying down flat.
Clinton, what's going on in the pits?
Well, I'm over here in turn 3 and 4 right now. Just going to chime in on this. Steve Lyons has lost the side of his front wing as well. So we think that's the cause of the debris. Doug is trying to determine that, and we'll see if that is the cause.
Yep, it was the MMBO Direct Marketing logoage on the side of that wing panel there that was picked up by the safety crew. MMBO Direct Marketing worked with us here at the Speedway. They're the ones who put on our kids race events here in support of the Canadian National Autism Foundation. And they've teamed up with Steve Lyons, and they got a little bit extra TV time tonight.
Well, it just came over the one-way radio. Steve in the 9. The debris is your caution. You will have to go tail. So we'll see Kevin Pauls move around the 9 right now. And tough break for Steve Lyons. We will see. And you guys are absolutely right. Mac's got to be pleased. The outside lane, the track crew's done a great job. We've got a good top that they can really hammer around, but lots of bite on the bottom for the guys who want to work the inside and use the feather technique. They've got a lot of bite off the inside. So good equal grooves here in the track in the early going tonight.
Back under the green flag, McDeman mashes the throttle and beats everyone to the corner by about 6 car lengths. Derek Jonathan holding on to the second spot. Here comes Mitch Brown. He has the nose wing damage, but it's not slowing him down at all.
Mitch Brown in that third spot, but Derek Jonathan carrying more speed off the corner. Halfway through this heat, 4 laps down, 4 laps to go.
McDeman checking out, picked up his first feature win of the season 1 week ago. His second career win in the 360 Sprint Car division. And looks like he's really got things under control here again tonight.
Corey Turner just threw not really a slide job, just took away Josh Hansen's line. I want to see if Hansen does the same back to him coming off of 4. And he does. He let the car come up. He didn't see how Corey Turner had bobbled there, but nice back and forth for position between the 13 of Corey Turner and the 88 of Josh Hansen.
McDeman works around the slower car of Kevin Pauls to the white flag with Derek Jonathan second. Mitch Brown right now third. Corey Turner holds down fourth. Josh Hansen doing everything he can, going up top, trying to get around Corey for fourth.
He wants to beat Corey Turner. You can feel it.
Checkers out.
Demand takes the win. Derek Jonathan with a good run coming home second. Mitch Brown third. Corey Turner fourth. Josh Hansen fifth. And it may sound stupid because obviously he wants to beat him. That's what race car drivers do. But when someone makes a move on you that think, they shouldn't have done that, they should have left me a lane, you can almost see it. A driver gets that, and Hansen has spun it out in 3 and 4, but a driver gets in his mind they want that spot back, and you can almost see them driving the car harder.
So 2 qualifying heats into the books for the 360 Sprint Car division. Third and final on its way out onto the speedway.
50 tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, guaranteed $750 tonight. Make sure it happens. Get it up there. $750 guaranteed. The payout tonight minimum. Look for the sellers in your pink shirts.
Going green this time. Holly Porter on the inside. Cole McDonald on the outside, taking their time coming to the start line.
And Holly Porter will break away from the pack down into corner number 1 and lead down through 2 as she brings Aaron Turkey, teammate, along with her.
Ryan Turner with a good run to the inside of Scott Kruger, and he has to take evasive action over Aaron Turkey, who got real sideways heading into 3.
Scott Kruger on a mission here tonight after being taken out by a lap car 1 week ago. Back at it here and looking for some redemption as he works to the inside of Aaron Turkey in 3 and 4.
How about Cole McDonald in that 0C contending for the lead with Holly Porter? Porter running the bottom of the racetrack. That's kind of a Holly Porter line down there. Cole McDonald a little higher on the track, but doing a great job in second as Scott Kruger clears Aaron Turkey in that third spot.
Yeah, Cole McDonald looking really stepped up there in that second position, but here comes Scott Kruger as he works off of corner 2 with a head of steam down the backstretch. He'll close the gap on second.
He'll look to the inside of Cole McDonald through 3 and 4, slip past that 0C and slide up in front for the second spot.
It's Holly Porter right now leading over Scott Kruger. Cole McDonald holding on in third. Aaron Turkey fourth. Ryan Turner to fifth. Jake Brown right now running sixth. Dan Danicote seventh. And Sean Slider in eighth.
Cole McDonald didn't lay over once Kruger went by. He actually mounted a challenge in the next turn, but now he's got a problem up there in turn 2. That allows Aaron Turkey to get by on the bottom.
2 laps left to go for Holly Porter, but the gap is closing as here comes Scott Kruder. Works it right around the rim in corner number 2 and will draw closer down the backstretch, really getting some good horsepower in the straightaways.
Completely contrasting lines. Holly Porter down low, Scott Kruder up high. One more lap.
Here comes the straight shooter, works it off at corner 2, now looks down low as they go down towards corner 3. Tips it back up top, around to the outside of Porter, coming to the checkered flags. Porter has the lead, Kruder will finish in second.
Good racing in the sprint car division tonight. Turkey third, Turner fourth, McDonald fifth, and it's Jake Brown, Slider, and Dan Nanakoke.
So Holly Porter picks up the win. The Case IH Aero Express Ohsweken Speedway number 1 as we get ready for the first of our mini stock qualifying heats. 4 in total here tonight. Another great field for the HRW Automotive Mini Stock Division. Prestige Pools and Spas, number 67, Steve Glover. Steve Glover from Ontario, New York. Starting 19th from Verona, New York, it'll be Pete Richardson, also in the Prestige Pools and Spas, number 67. And going from position number 20 out of Thamesford, the Vipond, Aller Karn, number 45 of Curtis Gartley. Starting 21st, driving the DVC contract. Sprint cars ready to come to life. Jamie Turner, Holly Porter on the front row. Kyle McKenzie with the double greens in hand. Pace truck pulls off on the backstretch. Ladies and gentlemen, you came looking for a show. Well, here you go. Let's end all the anticipation as we bring to you our feature presentation. They all rumble, bumble, stumble down through 1 and 2. Jamie Turner, your leader. Holly Porter in that second spot. And Jim Hoopinen right there in tow in the top 3.
Clean opening lap for these 360 sprint cars. Jamie Turner hanging on to the lead while Jim Hoopinen and Holly Porter battle for second. And wow, Hoopinen sailed it into turn 3.
Off of corner 4 they come. Jim Hoopinen in that Stires Racing number 0. This is his third feature race in that car. Second here at Ohsweken. He's running in the runner-up spot. He'll make the challenge down low at 3.
Looks to the inside of Jamie Turner for the lead. He'll squirt by on the bottom and take that spot down the front stretch.
Jim Hoopinen set sail in corner number 1, already catching the back part of the field as Kevin Pauls directly in front of him. But Jamie Turner has that Charlie D. Honey, number 11, hooked up tonight. That number 11 machine solidly right there, keeping pace with Jim Hoopinen.
Jamie Turner feeling racy, goes to the outside of Kevin Pauls, immediately back to the bottom of the racetrack.
John Burbridge Sr. pulls off. He'll head to the pit area, so John Burbridge done for the night with Jim Hoopinen. Trouble down to the front stretch. Dan Anico gathers the 15 machine back up right in front of the leader.
That was a lot going on for Jim Hoopinen to see out in front of his nose wing there. He'll sweep to the outside of Curtis Gartley. Now in front of him, it'll be Slider in the 71. He'll pitch it to the inside.
Jamie Turner sliding back. You've got Jim Hoopinen, your leader. Then it's Mac DeMand who's feeling pressure from Dylan Westbrook for second. And now Scott Kruder's into the mix. A 3-car fight for the second spot. Jamie Turner back to 5th.
Those are some heavy hitters. Second on back to 4th. Curtis Gartley to the inside in the 45. One up the racetrack in 3 and 4.
That was Scott Burke. He gathers it back up. We stay green flag racing. Curtis Gartley slows it down to the infield. It looks like he is done for the night with Jim Hoopinen working to the outside of Dan Anico. This time by, he'll complete lap number 8.
Hoopinen's lead is shrinking just a little bit. Mac DeMand closing that gap in the 17, but with every lap car, Hoopinen able to put between himself and Mac DeMand. That's a huge advantage. Dan Nanakoke comes up lame in turn number 2, inching his way down the backstretch.
Yeah, the 15 of Dan Nanakoke very slow in corner number 2. Sean Slider had the Red Rocket driving the familiar Stires number 0. The Bradshaw Brothers Fuels number 0 will bring them to the green flag. We're back on it. 8 laps complete, 12 to go.
Wow, Dylan Westbrook noses to the inside of Mac DeMand. Couldn't make that stick. DeMand will get around the lap car of Slider. Now Westbrook looking to the outside. He's going to lose that spot to Scott Kruder.
Wow, what a move as he shoots by Scott Kruder, who got all bent up there in corner number 4. Kruder goes back by him on the inside line. They'll go wheel to wheel down the backstretch with Dylan Westbrook a slight advantage.
McDeman working the bottom of the racetrack, and boy, oh boy, that car is evil as we reach the halfway of this 20-lap feature event.
Hupinen gets by the lap car of Kevin Pauls. Here comes McDeman working the inside line, but I'll tell you what, Jim Hupinen's got this car hooked up strong tonight.
Looks to me that 3 and 4 is definitely to Jim Hupinen's advantage. 1 and 2 seems to be a bit of a draw right now. They're both running about the same speed through 1 and 2, but McDeman showing the nose again to the inside of Jim Hupinen.
2 more cars pull into the pit area as Kevin Pauls and Dan Nanakoke now have gone to the pit area. As McDeman now shoots into the inside and into the lead. Gets by Jim Hupinen as they get into some heavy traffic.
Steve Lyons slowed there, and that really affected Jim Hupinen's line. As now McDeman going up the racetrack, Hupinen going to the bottom. Hupinen trying to retake the lead.
Wow, what a battle, and I think McDeman may have briefly brushed the wall in the backstretch. Hupinen back to the top spot, leads across the line, and McDeman hard into the wall on the front stretch.
Has a flat right front, guys. He blew out the right front.
McDeman rides the concrete. We are still under green. Now the yellow flies. Goodness gracious, that was something. Oh, and the rains have come. Looking at the monitor, it is raining.
So McDeman came in as the point leader. 29 points up on Jim Hupinen, who is now the race leader. Dylan Westbrook gained some ground last week, got back up into the top 3 in points. Corey Turner 4th and
the wheel. That's got to feel good for the veteran driver.
Pretty sure he's glad that he accepted the opportunity to drive for dmstyres as he'll pick up the win here tonight for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising. Sprint Cars officials deciding that they need to call the event with the precipitation coming down. Lone Wolf fireworks lighting up the sky to celebrate Jim Hupinen's first win for dmstyres Racing. Get your